Hey y'all, my family is driving me nuts for bread. And all of them think they're more important than the other one. Enter stage left.
Then second, this one, oh yeah, I'm going to go work out some frustration on my bread. In the very next breath, I think I'm going to save my yeast. And then it comes and says, oh, I'm going to make your brother some bread. By all means, make the favorite his bread.
Are you done? And they all act like that. Anyway, so the one that they're referring to as the favorite brought me the ingredients to make bread. So I thought I would show you. I'm going to show you the whole process from mixing it to kneading it to putting it to the rise the first time. And then I'll do another one to show you after that. Okay. I cut it upside down. You can see, I use rapid rise yeast. You can use any yeast. Rapid rise yeast is just finer. But you need 1 packet of yeast, flour, and in this instance, we're going to start with 3 cups in our bowl. You don't have to be precise with bread. Our packet of yeast, and I'm going to use a hand mixer since I know a lot of you don't have a stand mixer. 3 tablespoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can play around with those 2 things. You can add less sugar, you can add more sugar, you can add less salt. But just so you know, each of those things serves a purpose in a recipe. The next thing you're going to need 2 cups of water or milk. It doesn't matter, whichever one you want. Water or milk. And it has to be heated, in my way of doing it, it has to be heated to 120 degrees. I don't proof my yeast first. A lot of people put the yeast in the water, and then you add a little sugar, and you add a little flour, and you let it sit there till it bubbles. I don't do that. Never have. I don't do that. But you are going to need one of these. Because if it's higher than 120, it'll kill your yeast. Yeast needs at least 110 to get woke up, but you can't put it above 120 or it'll kill it. I have 2 cups of water and 2 tablespoons of butter. You can use oil, doesn't matter. Depends on what I got on hand as to what I use. But you want to let your water come to 120. And sometimes it depends on what you've got your water heater set on. Sometimes it can be 120 right out of your faucet. Your butter's not going to melt all the way at 120. But that's okay. We don't need it to melt all the way. 10. Okay. There we go. Oh, push. I don't like flat top ovens. But it's hot enough that if you put your hand in it, it feels hot. Okay? We're going to mix all of this together because you really don't want to pour that hot of water straight on your yeast. But we've got it mixed. And we're going to pour our water, milk, and butter or oil, whichever you used. And you want to mix that. To tell you, it should smell good. You should, when you start mixing it should smell good. This will be a little noisy. I think this is the last time I'll use the mixer. As soon as I get this mixed good, I do it for hand. don't know if you can see it, but it's just a thick, like a thick cake dough. And if you were to let it just sit there for just a second, you can see it breathe. It puts up little bitty bubbles. That means your yeast is active. It's not going to be bubbling like a soda, but you will see little air bubbles pop every once in a while. That lets you know your yeast is activated. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If you've had your yeast in the cabinet for 102 years, it's probably not going to be any good. Okay, the recipe calls for between 6 and 7 cups of flour. We started with 3. So, we're going to slowly add flour. There's 4. And just stir it until all the flour disappears. You want to tell me why I put on a black shirt to do this in? I don't know. But we're going to add flour until it makes a shaggy dough. Okay, there's 5. And it will make a shaggy dough. It won't look smooth. It'll look pretty raggedy. Okay. Since I told you we were going to add between 6 and 7 cups of flour, I've added 5. Okay. And I've got what I want. The humidity plays a huge role in it. Baking bread can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. See? That's a shaggy dough. It's very, very soft. Okay? Now, move all this away. Sprinkle some flour, pretty heavy, on the counter. Dump your dough out. The next part is kneading. Kneading creates gluten. It stretches those gluten fibers. It's what gives your bread that nice soft texture. Okay? Kneading is basically doing this. That's kneading. You want to add as little flour as you can to it, but at the same time, kneading. Depending how ferociously you knead this bread, it can take anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. This recipe makes 2 loaves. And every once in a while you'll see I'll just grab just a little flour, because remember, we've only added 5 cups of flour so far. So we can add a little more and it's okay. Yeah. In my heyday, I could knead 6 loaves of bread at a time. Here she comes again. Reckon she's got any more snarkiness?
I hope my brother enjoys the bread that you make for him.
They're so mistreated. Anyway, you'll get in a rhythm. And when I tell you this works out frustrations, it does. Every once in a while, just redust your surface and keep going. There are different types of bread. Different types of bread take different levels of hydration. There's some breads, like a true French bread, that has a lot more liquid in it, makes a stickier dough. It rises differently, but it has a lot more flavor in it. And that stuff you get at Kroger, that ain't French bread. French bread doesn't have as much yeast in it, but it's allowed to rise in a cool, like a refrigerator, overnight or 24 hours, a couple of times. And that gives more flavor in it. Okay, while I'm doing, I see you.
Good.
She's into my half and half. She thinks she's compensating being mistreated by drinking my half and half.
Indeed. Oh, I'm gonna go work on my frustration. Oh, but I need to save my yeast. And all of a sudden, Randall wants some bread, and all of a sudden, you don't have to save yeast no more.
Okay, we've heard that tune already.
Mm-hmm. It's true, though.
But you remember that shaggy dough that we started with?
Shaggy dough.
It's shaggy. It'll slowly come together the more you knead it into a real nice satin ball. Don't skimp on kneading. Your bread won't rise as high. You won't get that real pretty dome on the top. And you stand a chance when you first put it in the oven that it will rise up real pretty and then it'll fall. That has to do with rising time too. See, we're only halfway there. That's why I set a timer, because it feels like longer. But it's getting less and less sticky. Remember when we first took it out, it wouldn't hold its shape? Now it's starting to hold its shape. Now, I normally used to do this, well, I normally do this in my KitchenAid. It'll knead it. And it'll knead it quicker because it's more stronger than me. But like I said, I used to do 6 loaves at a time. Okay, remember I said you could play with the sugar and the salt? Bread, the flour in bread gives it its substance. That's what the bread really is. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm stretching this with my heel. And you just push, turn, push, turn, push, turn. Get into a rhythm. But when your flour is your substance. Sugar is what feeds your yeast. Sugars, milk fats, stuff like that is what's going to feed your yeast. You have to have that. So if you cut down on the sugar, and you don't have to use sugar, you can use honey, but if you cut, I don't have the corona, I just swallowed it. I got the corona. But anyway, if you cut down on your sugar, your dough's not going to have enough to feed on and won't rise as high. Which brings us to the salt. Salt not only adds flavor to your dough, but salt keeps the sugar in check. It slows the yeast down. Because if you didn't, it would just keep right on. I mean, yeast, once it starts rising, it'll just keep going. As long as it's got something to feed on. Oh, you can tell I haven't done this in a long time. But, and you'll notice every once in a while, I stop and just sprinkle just a little flour back on there. Your fats, which we added 2 tablespoons of butter. You can add oil, any type of oil, olive oil, regular cooking oil, it doesn't matter. That's what makes your bread brown. Now, each one of these loaves, and this recipe makes 2 loaves. Each one of these loaves will yield, if you cut it right, 16 slices. So we put 2 teaspoons of salt in here. If you do the math, you're not eating a whole lot of salt in 2 slices of bread. You're not eating a whole lot of sugar in 2 slices of bread. And for you that are gluten-free, I ain't your person. I have no idea how to make gluten-free bread. I've never really gotten into the gluten-free thing. But I will say this. It's hot in here. If the gluten is bothering you, try to use organic flour. The pesticides that they use on the wheat is designed to mess with your digestive system. That's what they use to mess with the bugs. Okay. We've now kneaded for 8 solid minutes. And you can see, where is it? It's a nice soft dough. It's formed a nice smooth texture. It doesn't look shaggy anymore. So the recipe I use, because we gave our yeast a jump start, we're going to put it right here on our counter. And I'm going to put a towel over it. And you let it basically rest for 20 minutes. I'm washing my hands. You know, we're supposed to all be washing our hands a lot. I don't know about you. This whole coronavirus thing has me a little worried. Has me more than a little worried. Okay. So, I'll come back and make a second one because I hate to make them when they're very long. So, we'll just clean all this up. Look, I didn't get any on me. I'm doing better because God knows I can't see past the mountains down there. Anyway, see y'all in 20 minutes.